We're gonna do kind of where I think season one, year one, whatever you want to call it, of Street Fighter 6 ended up character-wise. So tiers I'm going with this week are what I think are the top 5, then strong, average, weak. I'm not going to get into too many tiers or anything. Otherwise, I did not play a ton towards the end, but where I think this is going to be where I think things ended up. So this is pre-patch, pre-Akuma. So I'm not actually like I need this guy to get out of here, but whatever. So we'll start with my girl, Kimberly. I think Kimberly was average. You can call me a down player or whatever, but she's good. She's not bad. She's definitely not weak. But she's lacking a couple tools. Not having a drive rush low, I think, really hampers you in this game, and she didn't have enough shenanigans outside of it. Outside of burnout. Her burnout loops are fucked up. If you don't have meter, you essentially can't do anything about burnout. It's the worst. But otherwise, I think most of her stuff was pretty answerable. Bomb setups, since you have parry, like, they ultimately just come out to a throw strike if you just parry. Which bums me out about all the mix-up in this game, not just Kimberly's. Like, because of parry, there are no high-low, left-right mix-ups, which is a bummer, unless you burn people out. So that's where I think she wound up. I could see arguments for her being strong, but I don't see it personally. Towards the end of the patch, I think Ryu did end up strong. He had a couple changes here and there. I think he was underrepresented due to Ken and his oppression and his moveset. But he did end up coming out, I think, pretty decent towards the end, and now he's absolutely cracked. And this current patch is kind of the emotion I'm hearing right now. It's what I'm hearing in the streets, is that Ryu's real fucking good. But not top 5 territory. I don't think that's the case. If we want to talk about a top 5 Shoto, or Shoto-like, Luke is still and will always be absurd. I think Luke is kind of in Akuma territory, where his tool set is just so well-rounded that he's always going to be strong, unless they absolutely kneecap him. He just has too much good stuff going on. His fireball is crazy. All of his supers are good and have purpose. Level 1 alone gets him out of so many different situations. He's got DP, he's got the command dash. His jump buttons did get touched, but I'm guessing they're still fine. I'm guessing they just act like everyone else's. But again, this is last patch. So he had no bad situations. So I think he's a pretty safe top 5, so I'm going to put him in. Slot him in there early. On the weaker side, I do think Honda got figured out. I definitely still ran into Hondas that would beat my ass, but it's because they were just playing really good RPS, rotating their options, varying up their timing. But in general, you parry things, you drive impact, and you just kind of keep him under control, and then you smother him. You bait one EX headbutt, and he loses a third of his life. Like, it's not a challenging punish by any means. So I think he did end up on the weaker side. Controversial, I think Jamie is actually average. I think the Jamie down players really never rejoined the conversation after figuring their character out somewhat. I know the argument was like, oh, it's so hard for him to get drinks and he loses them between matches. But granted, I'm not great. I've had a lot of matches where he gets all of the drinks that he needs very quickly. If you land the one EX palm knockdown, it's 2 drinks right there. And a lot of them like to do that at round start. So if you aren't patient and block it round start, giving up a turn, then you eat EX palm, they get 2 drinks, and now they're at 3. They have to find 2 more throughout the match. Like, I don't think he's that challenged. He has a dive kick. It's not great, but he has a dive kick. He has an EX DP. Again, not great, but he has it. The drive rush hard punch, the 3-punch Ipman stuff is good. So I don't see the argument that he was weak. He's just not missing a tool to put him down there. So I think that's kind of where he wound up. That's my opinion. Do with that what you will. Where else do I want to go here? I really should start putting some forethought into this so I don't just kind of mindlessly spin my wheels. But and yet here I am mindlessly spinning my wheels. Go figure. I'm gonna go with Blanca. Blanca, I think, is strong. I don't I don't think I can make an argument that he's top 5, but the jump back ball being plus, him having setups with Mini Blanca, with Blanca-chan, having an EXDP, Blanca Ball took way more skill to punish, like parry and DI, than it is to just like throw them out. Also, he can cut him short, and that seems like a pretty common skill for Blanca players to have, is like knowing how to throw out the like light one and wind up right in front of your opponent, and then you get the throw, or whatever stuff. It's hard to check. So I think Blanca's like really slept on. I don't think he's top 5, but he has all the tools he needs. He has a lot of shenanigans. His level 2 gives you a lot of sustained pressure. And so, opening people up once, you've kind of already gotten your money back on Super 2 by the time you're going to use it. So I think he's got a lot of really strong tools. I think he has some bullshit. So I think he was on the stronger side of Season 1, personally. I don't think that's controversial. I think top 5 or average would be controversial, but I think it's pretty... average you could probably talk. But definitely a strong character. Also coming in at strong, this is probably colored by a recent tournament with Chozo, but his Chun-Li was looking pretty clean. But this is just another character with a bunch of good tools. She has really good normals. She has an EXDP. She has the wall jump. She has the stance shenanigans that can really throw you off. We saw the stance cancel into overhead a lot, or stance cancel low, which just looks really weird. Again, it's parryable, but he could also just cancel stance and throw, or she. Yeah, just another one of those characters, like strong walk speed, a lot of tools, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things on your mental stack. Having lightning legs in the air, having the wall jump, you can't cleanly beat her once she's jumping. You have to actually kind of make a call on what she's doing. Neutral jump, hard kick is always strong. That hits on both sides. Corpse hop is always fun. She has an air grab. Like, just too many tools, I think, to be kind of on the average side, whereas, Kim and Jamie and some of the other average characters are going to be lacking in tools. And I think that is an important thing in 6, is if you don't have the full set of tools, you better have something else that really makes up for it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think Chun-Li is strong. I could see people putting her at average, but I think if you spend the time with her and use all of her tools correctly, she is quite potentially in strong territory. That's where I'm at with that. Let's go with an easy one. I think JP was absurd in Season 1. A lot of his kit just kind of plays itself. A lot of his kit breaks conventional Street Fighter 6 rules. EX Amnesia, comboing into throws and beating throws, and leading into mix-ups, and just the frame data on, and like all that stuff. Like, I think it's just, you can't really discount any of that. And then his teleport becomes invulnerable. Like, his hitbox shifts so quickly that it's really hard to play around it. Having the 3 spikes, having a command grab, a ranged command grab, that is also the same animation as a throw and a low. Like, too many good tools, too much of the character plays itself. Parry, always being able to steal. If you get down on him, he might just spam parry, get a perfect parry, and now he switches places with you or does a combo. And then Super 2 being 0 on Flash is like just gross. So I think that's an easy top 5. Also coming in at strong, I think Marissa, strictly from 2-touch damage, I do think some of her tools are lacking, and I think once you get used to playing against the character, she's a lot less scary. But her damage output, her big normals, her ability to make plays, and then just the base 50-50 of like Gladius, it all just creates a strong package. Because of playing a lot of Marissa in Discord, I think, like, I would almost be inclined to say average, just because I got so used to playing her. But being able to 2-touch most of the cast on like the second round and beyond it's strong, it's good, and a lot of her combos kind of just come from the same stuff. So I do think she comes in as strong. EX Scudum is also super degenerate. The stance into command grab or stance into whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with strong here. Let's see. I think I personally run into Manons and have trouble. but it's because I try to get in their head as a grappler, and then I end up jumping more than I should when they're just throwing out strikes. But I do think Manon got figured out. The metal thing, if you just jump a lot, she can't really build metals. Unlike Jamie, she can't just do it in neutral. She actually has to land the command grab or the strike, and the strike has a very specific combo route. So I just never really feared Manons, and like even if they beat my ass, I'm like, yeah, no, I deserve that. They just ran their game plan better. Otherwise, she has to make a lot of risks. She does have big buttons, but I don't think she's that scary. Obviously, Manon with 5 medals is the best character in the game. Kind of a James Chen joke, but I don't think she was cooking in season 1. Ed, okay, Ed is a newcomer. I think he's weird. I think he was weird. And I may not have enough sample data here, but he's really strange in how he wants to establish his game plan, where he has to charge with a punch, feint it, or charge and let it rip. You have to make your choice of high, mid, low, at the point at which you charge the button. So you're already kind of taking a 1/3 chance every time you throw that out, and then you have to do the backdash or the forward dash to then bait it if they try to respond to it. So anytime your game plan is like reacting and baiting the opponent rather than just having an impressive game plan, I think you're in trouble. So, what's up, Steve? What's good? Just in time for the tier list. So yeah, I think he's average. He's got some good tools. His level 2 is crazy. He has a DP. He has all that stuff. But I just think his game plan is unconventional enough and not oppressive enough that he's maybe not in that strong tier. But I do know like Brian F was playing him, and I know Brian F wouldn't necessarily play a character that he didn't think had some sauce. So yeah, he's a weird like mid-range brawler. His tools are very unconventional. So maybe it's just my inexperience in how to pilot a character like that. But I think he wound up at average. This one might be controversial. I think Dhalsim is super fucking strong. I think not reverting his Street Fighter 5 changes was a mistake. Letting him be a rush down zoner is just really stupid. Teleport's really strong. He can still do the like TK Gale stuff that just is such a nightmare to play with because it beats throws and then it puts him into plus frames and all this garbage. On top of having his crazy normals, he's got the fun fireballs. He has the charge up super. He's got the fire carpet super still. He still has the slides. So he can just spam slide, teleport, jump, hover, slide, teleport, jump, hover. He can get out of the corner whenever he wants. All that kind of stuff. People just don't play him. I think he's incredibly strong. I think he's incredibly annoying. And if you don't think he's strong, then you're sleeping on him or you haven't played a good one. But when people pilot him aggressively and correctly and also can switch to that zoning, I think he's problematic. But not top 5 because he is missing tools. Like he doesn't have a DP. So how high can you really go? No, it may be a little controversial. I think Lily was fine. I think her game plan is really straightforward, but that doesn't mean it's not effective. Getting plus frames into someone's face and then having a command grab as a challenge, like that's all Laura did in 5, and she was fine. It's boring, it's straightforward, and it's not tricky, but you can't parry it. You can't parry a command grab. And then if you jump, she has the DP. She has the win stock confirms that, yeah, you can DI, so you just can't let him rip, but you always have EX Condor stuff to try to mix things up and sneak a win stock in there. So as long as you're smart about your win stocks, and then you are running that plus frame throw game effectively, I think she's fine. She's not strong. She's not weak. She's just, she's running a very straightforward grappler game. And it shows. However, I do think, even though I hate this matchup, and I thought it was a Kimberly thing, but it's not, I do think Geef really struggles with his mobility in Season 1, the first year. Having to double drive rush just to like get any semblance of Oki after a command grab is a big bummer. And then he really just has to like play mind games with hard punch, which again, he's trying to like force a reaction mini game. If you DI it correctly, then you get a big punish with corner carry and all this stuff. His anti-air is amazing. Having the 2-button anti-air is always good. But his other stuff is so lacking. It's either hard punch, like crouch hard punch is not reliable. Hard punch, you're relying on the armor, so that can get weird. If they empty jump it and throw you, that loses, etc., etc. His combos are weird. If people jump your level 3 or, an SPD, then you're just eating a fat combo. I personally think he needed help. He got it in this patch, so Capcom obviously agreed. So I'm also going to use that to base some of my opinion here. But yeah, I think he needs help. 2 of the grapplers need help, and 1 is fine. So definitely not a strong patch for grapplers. It was a strong patch for DJ, who could just kind of do whatever the hell he wanted. Has an incredible fireball, multi-hits on the hard punch. He has the flash kick. He's got the sways. He has the hop knee that gives a lot of people trouble. He's got the crouch medium kick is an incredible slide, or an incredible sweep, and then the slide on hard kick also acts as an anti-air sometimes. Like, feels like all of his tools are actually like 2 tools in one, and you just have to know how to apply them. He has great pressure. Like I said, the backsway gets him out of trouble, but it also bring him back in to reapply trouble. The fireball game is top notch. He can DP you. He has a fake DP just to get up in the air and do whatever. So JP definitely cooking this patch. I think that's pretty hard to deny. Unless you're a JP player, in which case you're going to downplay. Also on average, Aki. I have seen the Broski clips. Once you get someone burned out, Aki's super degenerate. But outside of that, her game plan is pretty fair, pretty honest. Her EX command dash as a reversal is good, but it is throwable. So yeah, you get a really easy side switch, but if people are ready for it, then you get thrown right back in that corner. You've spent the meter, and you're right back where you started. Some of her combos are a little awkward. Some of her moves don't really function the way you want. The chain shots aren't great. Poison, just like Fang, like the poison isn't super impactful in the way you want it to be. It does lead to some cool combos, which is a plus in her favor, but they do end up just being the rote optimized. Like, oh, this is the combo you do if you have poison state. There's not a lot of creativity there, which is inevitable. That happened with Gil in 5 as well. Even though he had a really open, fluid combo system, typically you kind of hit the same combos every time anyway. So I think she's fine. I think she's fun. If you can burn them out, she's incredible, but otherwise her kit is just fine. Another DLC character, I think Rashid is super strong. I'm not confident saying he was top 5 in this patch, just because I haven't played him enough. But he has so many things going on. His level 2 is so good. He has an incredibly consistent anti-air in Hard Punch Mixer. He's got that side switch slide. If he gets a charged fireball out, then he has the tornado on deck, and so he can just yeet himself across the screen at plus frames and force whatever mix-up he wants there. His drive rush overhead is incredible. So just a really, again, too many options, too many tools to not be good. Kind of the Akuma curse. But I don't think he breaches that top 5, unfortunately. But yeah, we're getting down. So we got 2 spots left in top 5. I actually don't know who I want to put up there, other than I do know I want Ken up there. Ken's a problem. Jinrai's degenerate. Dragon Lash is great. He has the DP. He's got the run stop for combos. His hard punch is incredible. His low medium kick is incredible. It all leads into corner carry or combos or damage. He can kind of pick and choose whatever combo he wants for every situation and optimize that way. He is so good. I think he was great. Yeah, not much else to say there. Who? Okay, we're gonna go process elimination. Who else with? So I think Cammy is strong. I can see people putting her in top 5, but the lack of plus frames in Street Fighter 5, I feel like does hamper her kind of like strike throw game. Her walk speed's incredible. Hard punch is a great button, but it's only +1. So it is hard to establish that throw game at some level. Her dive kick is good. All dive kicks in this game have the same hurtbox issues, but hers can be so hard to react to that it's kind of irrelevant. She still has to space it correctly, obviously, as with any dive kick. But it does let her force some stuff. But she doesn't have a fireball. She has to make some gambles to get in. If you're ready for it, she is lower health. She's lower average health. She's not like Akuma. But she doesn't have a lot of health to gamble with. And her game plan is a little straightforward, and plus frames aren't abundant. Obviously, back spin knuckle is plus frames, and hard punch are plus frames, but you can kind of play around both of those. So you really have to rely on good neutral. Crouching medium kick is incredible, and she'll tag you with it from full screen, it feels like sometimes, but it's still just more Cammy. It's the same kind of stuff you've been playing against for 30 years or something at this point. So I don't think she cracks top 5. So who? Man, this is good. This is gonna be biased as to just who I play against more of. Yeah, I don't. I think Guile also comes in at strong. He's doing the same Guile stuff he's always done. He has the multi-hit fireballs, which are great. He has EX flash kick, which is great. He can be rushdown if he wants. I haven't been seeing many people kind of taking advantage of that, but he can be pretty aggressive just with normals. But I have been seeing more people just kind of turtling up, doing the boom and flash kick game plan. His level 2 lets him do boom loops from 5 if you have the execution for that, but otherwise you just get a bunch of, fun fireball stuff to do. I don't even know what his level 1 is now that I think about it. But, level 3 is level 3. It's going to do a bunch of damage, be a big old flash kick. But he, much like Cammy, it's kind of the same game plan he's had for a long time. The extra fireball is something he got in 5, but doesn't really change the character up too much. Good normals, straightforward game plan, good tools, so he's definitely strong. I don't think he's top 5. I do think, and this is probably just a personal demon, thanks Dreaded, I think Jury has, like, everything she needed. Her walk speed is crazy, crouching medium punch at +1 is crazy. She has throw loops, she has dive kick, she has EXDP, she has a fireball that beats a lot of characters' anti-fireball options, Kimberly included. So it being on the ground means a lot of people can't bypass it. Yeah, I kind of want to put Rashida top 5 Dreaded, but I don't have it in me because I haven't played enough of them. Whereas I know Jury has all the tools that she needed to be successful. She has skill to gear combos in one of her installs. She has the Fuha stuff that you kind of have to play around, and it's not strictly punishable, so you can sneak charges in if your opponent isn't on top of it, i.e. me. You can just kind of get free charges in. Her Drag Rush is incredible. Drag Rush and Overhead covers a good bit of the screen. She gets a combo off of that. Yeah, she just kind of has everything she needs to be a strong contender, I think. I can't think of anything that really drops her below any of these. Again, like, I think Rashid, if this was ordered, then I think Cammy, Rashid, Guile would be, like, if you're ordering left to right, I think these 3 would be the top of my strong tier, but I'm not going to go through and order everything left to right. But yeah, these 5 characters just kind of have everything they need, or they break some convention of Street Fighter 6, or just, like, the tool set is just overall all that. Yeah, she's just, her game plan's super effective. She's super quick. She has a bunch of really good tools, and then having a fireball that breaks some characters' anti-fireball options, I'm just gonna put her up there. But again, if you just want to mock that up to Dreaded being my personal demon, so be it. I'll give you that one, Dreaded. You may have been the call here. This is last patch, but if I had to put Akuma somewhere, he's probably gonna be strong. He just has all the tools, but I do think his life is a limiting factor. I think running into a Marissa in tournament for Akuma is gonna be real scary. So I don't think he's gonna be like a top 5 contender at this point. But yep, that's my snapshot of, like, where I think the end of Street Fighter 6 year 1 ended. Obviously, I wasn't playing too much towards the end, so maybe I don't understand where things all shaked out, but that's kind of my impression towards the end. My demons included. It is what it is. That's my list. If you have a list, you should make it. You should start a talk show, and you should do it. It's fun. Your lists are fun. That's why I do them.